Hey, just wanted to come on here live and talk a little bit about, I'm sure all of you have heard about Travis Hunter, who is a two-way player on the Colorado Buffaloes team. And there's been a lot on the internet this weekend about Travis. I want to share a little bit of a different take about this situation. There's been a lot of talk about him and his girlfriend and lots of stuff that's going on. Look, that's their own business. They're in a relationship. I am not going to speak about that. There's plenty out there to talk about what's going on and everyone's opinion. But I do, as a CPA and holistic financial coach, I do want to talk about this from a financial perspective and from a financial literacy perspective. So, as I said, I'm a CPA and holistic financial coach, and I talk a lot about financial dependency. And let me define that for you. Financial dependency is defined as being dependent on a person, a job, or situation for money. And there are times that people feel trapped. Now, we're dependent on a lot of things for money, whether it's our investments or whether it's our job, it's our career, whether we are dependent on a spouse or a partner. So financial dependency does exist, but it can get out of hand if we feel like we are in circumstances that we are trapped in. And it is, just a function of being in relationships and having money, but it can be a situation that can cause a lot of distress in your money life. So here's what I want to talk about from a perspective of a relationship, because I work with couples. I generally find that in relationships with couples that one person manages all of the money. And from a financial dependency perspective, that can cause a lot of problems. One person that manages the money can feel like they have a lot of responsibility. The other person in the relationship can feel like they're trapped, or that they have to beg or ask for money, or that they're dependent. So it goes both ways in relationships. And my book, Poor by Choice, that I released earlier this year, goes into depth about financial dependency, what it is, how it comes about, what you can do about it, the effects that it has on your life. And there are many effects if you're in a dependent situation, whether you are in a job that you can't get out of because of needing insurance or needing the job to support your family. If you're in a relationship and you have no way out because you have no access to money information or a way out. So that is what financial dependency is. And, when it comes to couples and one person I find generally manages the money, it can lead to a lot of stress because people can feel trapped in their situation. And I want to talk about one other thing. In my book, I talk about athletes and celebrities that are that get a lot of money, and they're dependent on other people to manage it. And you've probably seen many instances, whether it's athletes or celebrities, that have come into a lot of money and they rely on managers or family or friends or even accountants, even professionals, to manage their money. And then sometimes they're left with nothing because it's been mismanaged or misappropriated, or they've just been taken advantage of. So I always worry about athletes, especially young athletes that are coming into a lot of money, because I have a lot of frameworks that I work with. And one is that we don't talk about money and we don't teach about money. So we observe and we learn about money we adopt from our environments, whether it's our family environment or our professional environment or our friends, social media. So we just gather information because we're not really talking about it or teaching about it, unfortunately, right? And so when somebody comes from not having money and they get a lot of money, they don't know how to manage it. And I always say, if you can't manage $10, you can't manage 10 million. So they don't have the skill set, they don't have the boundaries. So that's why you'll see a lot of celebrities and athletes or people with a lot of money that come into money, they get it taken advantage of by their agents, by their families, because they're almost like a target, because they're trying to help people. They're trying to give back to people that supported them along their journey. And so without the information, knowledge, support people surrounding them, the right team, they can really get themselves into trouble. And they can, I was talking with somebody on a podcast recently that we were talking about doctors and actually lawyers, and that doctors sometimes fall into this trap because they've spent so much time in school, and a lot of times they've done it for other people. Maybe their parents wanted them to be a doctor, and when they finally get into the profession and find out what it is, they don't like it, and they feel trapped because now they have all this debt, and now they have to prove to other people. They have to get the big house, and they have to spend money, and then because they're not satisfied, then they start spending to, satisfy themselves because they're unhappy, like in their position. So that can happen in any profession, and it happens a lot with athletes because some of them do come from, wealthy backgrounds, but a lot of them don't. And so they don't understand how money works, how to invest it, how to pick the right financial team, and they can get in, some trouble with that. So I wanted to share about that, and also to talk about toxic money. I work with people that have been in relationships, they've gotten divorced, or they've gone through divorce or an extenuating circumstance, and they experience what I call toxic money. And toxic money usually happens when there's a battle or there's a dysfunction around a relationship that has to do with money. And so it can be fighting over money, having resentment over money, having resentment that you supported somebody maybe financially at one time and they've gotten very successful and now you are out of the picture. So all of these things come into play when you're dealing with people in relationships and with money. So as I think about Travis Hunter, and I love Travis Hunter, I've been following Travis. If you ever see this, I've been following his career and for a few years now, especially since he's been with Coach Prime, and I have gone back and watched a lot of his, growing up, and some of the videos and film on him growing up, and I just think he's an exceptional young man, and I hope he has great success, and I hope his relationship does work out, and I hope that they both think about these things, because for her situation too, hey, she's probably financially dependent on him, which can lead to, emotional triggers and being, feeling defensive and feeling vulnerable, because if she's not working and she doesn't have her own money, she's dependent on him also. And he could be dependent on her. I don't know the financial situation, so I'm just stating that I don't know, but he could be financially dependent on her if she's managing part of it. So you just never know. And the one thing to do is to be, informed and aware of what's going on, to work together as a team. And, I always suggest that couples, I know that they're planning to get married, I always suggest that couples keep their accounts separate, because if anything ever happens, it's very hard to get credit and bank accounts and things established if you've had things in one person's name or even a couple's name. You want to have some things on your own for both of them. They need to have separate bank accounts. They need to have credit cards separately. And if he's funding her money and if she's funding him money, you can do that by transferring money back and forth. But having your own, money identity, legal and financial identity is really important in this day and age when you can't get an apartment, you can't get a job without getting a credit check being run, right? You can't get a credit card. So it's really important to establish yourself as a young person and as a person that's beginning to step into the limelight and get more money and it's for couples to really establish yourselves individually. And then you can have joint accounts, no problem, but being able to have that independence on your own. So I just wanted to share that at this time when, it's been really prevalent in the news and I've been following it, and I just hope the best for him, and I'm super, super excited that he won the Heisman trophy. Travis, you deserve it. You seem to work very hard. You've been working hard for a long time. You're so fun to watch. I love the joy and excitement and love that you have of the game. I'm an NFL watcher. I was never a college football watcher until Coach Prime and you and Shador. I feel like I know you guys and I love watching you, and I am very invested in what happens and you guys in your future. So good luck.